Hey, Sean, Unblinded Sales Mastery. We're co-creating breakthroughs and dreams, crushing fear and distortion. The guy that's not afraid is our friend and my new partner, Fred Pinto, who's rocking, who's a rapper. And we're going to like Eminem, like, and this was not preset. Like, we're just playing Eminem, and Fred's like, yeah, I can rap. And Fred starts rapping, and we're like, oh, so what's up, buddy?
What's up, brother? Love it.
So not only do we share our love for rock, right, like Eminem. By the way, this is the non-explicit version. I heard it, right? I heard it bleed. But also, we're huge comic fans as well. Like the hero's journey, right? We're talking about that. Who's your favorite character? I know it, okay?
Wolverine, baby. It's gotta be Wolverine.
And I'm a Batman fan. Like, that's what's happening. So here we are, because we're about to memorialize this amazing launch of our partnership and like innovation. Incredible things happening. So what's happening, brother? Like, what is innovation law? I'm gonna turn this down for a second. You please, guys.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm so humbled and honored to be here and collaborate with a thought leader and influencer at the level of Sean's. I mean, this is our collaboration over the last few months has been just absolutely inspiring to me. So first of all, I just want to thank you for opening up these doors for me. And
thank you. And I want to thank Tony Robbins, and I want to thank Scott Humphrey, because it was Scott, and we're in Amsterdam, right? I think in Amsterdam?
That's right, Amsterdam.
That introduced us, and you were thinking about Plaid. Well, I think I helped those dudes too, right? We had a nice conversation about Plaid. But this
Sean sold me on Plaid.
Yes, that happened.
It wasn't Tony Robbins and it wasn't Scott Humphreys. No. It was Sean Callagy.
Okay, no. So,
true story.
But and here's the funny part, though, because when we're in contribution and doing things, and this is the genuine, truth, what Platinum Partnership and to work with Tony Robbins and Scott Humphrey and the amazing team there has done has just been remarkable in my life. So, I'm there contributing. I'm trying to help people see what they don't see about the benefits of Platinum, and all of a sudden it creates something massive for me. So
Absolutely.
So thank you guys for that opportunity, and for everybody. Sometimes, and I have another quick interesting footnote. So we've had the blessing and privilege of having Adam Gugino join our firm and team. Met Adam, and there's a gentleman by the name of Ben Fox. And so Ben is legally blind, and he asked me to come out to Arizona to speak, less than a year ago. So we went out there. Nicole was here. Nicole, we went out in this like awesome journey, like meeting Ben Fox and doing different things. And so Ben Fox, I was like, let me do something, in support of and contribution. I'm going to bring Ben to Business Mastery, and my sole agenda and outcome was to give something meaningful to Ben and to the experience with Tony and the incredible team Business Mastery. So Ben just randomly, and there's a lot happening at that Business Mastery, and I was pulled in a lot of different directions. So Ben ends up sitting, and when it's all done, next to Adam Gugino. I didn't even know this. So afterwards, Ben's like, oh, you got to meet Adam. And this true story, I'm like, if I meet Adam, I'm like, dude, like everybody's trying to sell me something. Like I like nicely, I can't meet and talk to him. He goes, just meet with him. Just meet with him. And so it ends up, Adam took a company from $3 million to $700 million in revenue and a call center, and there's some different dynamics, and all of a sudden, a month later, Adam and I have joined forces, and Adam's here as well. So through this ecosystem, we now have an international law firm, I think, right? We have access to innovation law. Fred is a genius, an absolute genius, as phenomenal in this space as anything I've seen. His thinking is so wildly unique. Adam is here. And this is what happens when you're perceiving yourself to be in contribution. And I was in contribution, pure contribution, and these massive outcomes come back. Thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to the innovation law collaboration that we're setting up, I realized really, really early on in my career something that was really terrifying to me. What was terrifying is I was helping all these different entrepreneurs, and I realized that your business can be made or broken on whether or not you protect some really, really small details. So very early in my career, I had an entrepreneur who had a couple of gyms and was selling protein powder. And back in the day, this gentleman had a gym called Arnold's Gym. And so he gets sued by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh boy.
And Arnold Schwarzenegger's like, well, this is my name, you can't, so trademark infringement suit. The client ends up having to change the name of the gym, but learned that when he launched a product, he's got to register a trademark. And so what he starts doing is, just for the protein powder that he's selling in his little stores, 2 stores, he was always registering the trademarks. Lo and behold, large supplements companies start using trademarks that are very similar to his. 4 separate lawsuits. He told me we made him more money in 4 settlements than he ever made working his entire life. So I realized that it could make you in a way that is astronomical, but it can also break you because another client I had was a software company. We were in the midst of negotiating a $30 million exit for them, and right at the end of due diligence, the buyer realized that the software had been built on an open source protocol that they didn't realize the software was not proprietary. Deal fell through. The entrepreneur in question never sold their business. So, for me, it was like a light bulb went off when I realized that, what can make or break you in business is not necessarily how talented you are, and it's not necessarily how hardworking you are. It's whether or not you protect these core intangible assets and the value that you end up creating with all that hard work and talent.
Yeah.
That's where the genesis came in.
It's unbelievable. And these stories sound like, oh, they're like anomalies. They're not. Like, this is like every day they go on. We've had the conversation that there's a person by the name of Scott Rothstein that was the largest Ponzi schemer in the history of South Florida. I was sitting in an office with the former head of white-collar crimes for the FBI a little under a decade ago, and they were asking for $8 million for my client. And I was the first person to report him to the FBI, even though the former head of white-collar crimes for the FBI, who was with me, said that the whole thing was legit on the up and up. Guy took $1 billion from people. Most of them had attorneys consulting on it, and he was straight up, his whole 300-person law firm was a pyramid scheme on investments that didn't even exist. Cases, it's unbelievable. Second, the top 100 verdicts that we've been involved in both of those cases, they involved lawyers or high-end professionals that were involved in defrauding my clients, stealing companies, total insanity happening. But here's the key: completely avoidable. Completely avoidable. One, my client couldn't fire somebody who had an equity position, but they were just an employee also, Fred. Couldn't fire them even after getting choked, maligned, publicly humiliated, emasculated, completely embarrassed. Couldn't get the situation out, and led to litigation that took almost 7 years. The other side spent $17 million in legal fees defending our $3 million demand, and we hit the for $27 million verdict. That's the fun part. Like, yeah, I feel good about that. But the sad part is that if my client had the right counsel up front, none of that would have ever had to have happened. It could have been far more clear, easily resolved, and not generated that way, and on and on and on in all of these situations. So, Fred, there's so much massive good to be done. I'm so excited, and it's innovation law. Like retaining the value, building the value, thinking differently about using law and beyond the law to create massive value and results. And brother, I'm so happy. Any final thoughts?
So excited. We both love superheroes. So to me, what innovation law, what we want to do is we want to give everybody, every single entrepreneur, every single business owner, X-ray vision. We want to give them an X-ray level vision in their own business, understand where they're going to be creating value, understand where the liabilities are, and give them those protections and leverage points where they can actually monetize and take advantage of the value that they create, or get away from those liabilities. That's something we can do extremely quickly. It's something we can do at an expert level, at a very, very high level. And every single business owner, entrepreneur should be, on the front foot looking at these things.
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, there are 7 forces of business mastery, right? And we got business mastery 2, right? So, I don't remember anything legal coming from the stage there. Do you?
In fact, I remember, I think there's a tab called Financial and Legal Optimization,
All right.
but I do not believe that there's any content
Interesting.
after that tab.
Innovation.
Yeah. Maybe legal mastery?
Maybe. That's there. So we'll see. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
We'll see what happens. It could be interesting. We want to bring massive value to everybody out there. And in a moment, we're going to show you the signing that's coming up in a second to make this all official. So be back in a moment.
All right.
So we're back with Fred, we're Michael Smikin. Nicole, the Mischievous Fairy, is over in the corner. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Yes, and Tiffany, how are you?
Good, how are you?
So Michael, thank you for making all this come together as well. Fred and I were just chatting a little bit.
Yep.
You've been around a long time. So what are your thoughts and feelings about innovation law and this massive expansion?
I got to be honest with you, it's very rare, and this is in a lot of videos. It's very rare that I encounter attorneys that really impress me, or human beings that really impress me. And in all honesty, I can tell you that, and I said this to him earlier today, Fred's energy has been so infectious. It's hard not to get excited when you're around him and the things that he talks about, and what he's been talking about doing and how he's revolutionizing the space of innovation law. has been absolutely tremendous. So I'm just so excited to be working together with him. It is going to be such a huge opportunity. And I don't think anybody really reminds me of Sean as much as Fred does. And so the two of them together, that collaboration, that energy together is either going to be super amazing and a huge opportunity, or like a nuclear bomb going off. So we're going to find out really soon, but I think it's going to be the former and not the latter.
Okay. So, and Michael, have you been to Business Master yet?
I have not, no.
Okay, so we're gonna check the tab because there's like this awesome section on the forces of business mastery. One of them is legal, and I don't know. Do you think that would be supportive of the world if there was some more training and innovation law, and what would that do for business owners? You think?
In all honesty, I think it would protect them from making mistakes early on that cost them millions of dollars in a lot of different ways. Business owners are super excited to be going into business with one another, and they don't think about all the nuances of it.
How putting aside the business, the money, how about the emotional? Like, what have we seen in these matters? What happens to people emotionally going through litigation cases, including me? Is there a dent in the ceiling up there somewhere?
It's over there to the left.
Yes, that dent in the ceiling was the byproduct of the ending of something that I was involved in, where someone's trying to rob me. I took my garbage can. I was so fired up when it finally ended. We were playing Thunderstruck, and threw the garbage pail off the wall in exuberant celebration, emotional release. A lot of things happening. So there's a lot that goes on emotionally in litigation matters.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of different ways when money gets in the way and these kind of challenges get in the way. Two people who could be the best men at each other's weddings, the closest friends ever, family
that
members,
actually happened.
Ripped apart. Ripped apart by these kinds of things. And all it would have taken is a piece of paper and a discussion about expectations right up front, and we would have avoided all those issues.
And here's the truth. I don't like going slow. Do I like going slow?
I don't even know if you know the definition of it.
And I drive you crazy in that space sometimes.
100%. That wasn't clear.
Right. So I'm not preaching from a place of, he's an attorney and he gets all that. No, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an accelerant. It's what I do in life. But without the incredible counsel of Michael slowing me down as much as he can and tackling me, I'm like you, if you're in the entrepreneurial space, I want to go bigger, faster, stronger, all those things. But without doing these things, it's hurt me too. I'm really thankful. I have an amazing life, wonderful business, but it's cost me millions, right? In some of these different situations, by not buttoning up, not dotting an I, crossing a T, literally millions. Have you experienced that costing me millions of dollars?
Yes.
Yes, right?
And the problem is people see it as an all or nothing proposition. When the reality is, it's almost like people look at excelling in their business as a sport, right?
Yeah.
Well, what about being healthy, right? So we're gonna if you've got an issue with your spinal cord, or if you've got an issue with your cholesterol, or if you've got an issue with, it's going to at some point impact your performance, right?
Correct.
So you want to look at things more from a holistic perspective, and from our perspective, it's look, if you're 100% into your sport and you're all about performance and excellence, and you've got very, very little time that you can dedicate to overall health, that's fine. What you need is people who can come in, who can assess where you are, and give you the most impactful things that you can do for your health to safeguard you long term, and also to improve your performance, but with it from an indirect perspective. So that's what we do. A lot of what we do is just enhancing the overall health and agility of a business and helping them maintain their value long term. That's what we do.
No, thank you. And Mike, this doesn't happen, I said, without the Tony Robbins world, the benefit of Platinum Partnership. That's where Fred and I met. That's where so many other businesses, I've been able to launch businesses with Promise and Chris Crone and through Proximity, beyond the board of Idea Lab, X, and be out with Bill Gross as a venture partner in that. Remarkable things have occurred over time, and on, this incredible ecosystem. So with much gratitude, let's go sign this.
Let's do this.
So this is what it looks like when, the guy that can't see, legally blind, signs something. So Michael puts my finger where?
right here.
Okay.
That's one. Go ahead.
And Michael loves my signature because it looks like this.
And then right above it, once more, right there. Perfect. Killed it. Beautiful.
Excellent. Thank you,
Right.
sir. We now own Canada.
Yeah, snuck some in there.
So we signed the other one too?
No, that's it.
That's it. That's
Yep.
the
All right.
copy.
Hey, so from New Jersey, I am thankful, partner. Let's go, brother.
Let's do this.
Make it happen.
Yes.
Amazing. Michael,
Amazing.
hugs, brother.
Yep.
Right?
Here we go.
Let's have a awesome
Cross table
right.
hug.
Cross table
There we
hug. God bless to you and your
Yes.
family. And Fred's going to be jumping on a plane soon and going back, but it's only a 55-minute flight.
That's
To
right.
have an international operation for both of us. So,
Exactly.
hey, we'll see you
Beautiful.
soon.